Hello YouTube, Mr. Evans here with my vlog number 103. Today is Thursday, and the time is about 7:02. Just dropped something here, let me get that. Today was a day with some problems that, when I thought too much about them and dwelt too much on them, got me a little frustrated, but I had to stop doing that because overall it was a pretty good day. Most of the day went very well, and even the problems that came up, I was able to deal with them pretty well. So yeah, I'm generally pretty satisfied with today. I'm pretty happy with how well it went. It was reading zone, which reading zones are always a little bit tricky, but I tried to address things today, and I think it went well. I'm happy. I did that with all of my classes. Let me read the wonder quote of the day. I don't quite get this one. It's by Alice Walker, and it's, "I am an expression of the divine." And it's not so much that I don't get that. It's just more, I felt like I was a little bit lost in terms of where to go with that. I am an expression of the divine. But I think it makes sense that I feel lost, because I think this is where we tend to go as teachers. So, the idea is I am an expression of the divine, meaning I am something special. I am a part of something important, and I should treat myself as such. And yet, that's such a mentality that I think we are not encouraged to buy into as teachers. We're not discouraged from it, it's just not something we talk about very often, which is why I want to talk about self-care today, which is something I've talked about on previous vlogs, but I think I talk about it more in a scattered way, like, oh, I'm not feeling well, so I did this thing, that kind of thing. But the thing is, I think there's an innate mentality, not an overt one. This isn't one that you'll ever hear a teacher say, or even really believe. It's just this kind of underlying mentality that we care too much about ourselves, and that the danger is that you care too much for yourself rather than for others. Again, you'll never hear a teacher say that, ever. But there's this innate sense, I think, that we have sometimes that self-care is detrimental. That if we're struggling, we need to not take care of ourselves. We need to work harder. If we're struggling, it's because we're spending too much time thinking about my own well-being and not enough time thinking about how I can be the best I can be. So I think far too often we come across stress and we meet it with more force. We work harder. But the problem is, you're always going to come across struggles as a teacher, no matter what. I'm pretty convinced of that. So if every problem you come across, you view it as, this is an opportunity for me to push back, then you are gonna burn out, because you're not gonna do anything but push ever. And then, it doesn't relieve the stress, because it's not like you overcome that challenge and then everything's fine. There's just another challenge waiting for you. And while there is something to be said for constantly pushing yourself to be your best, you have to do it with the mentality of self-care, with this mentality of, today was really tough, so instead of I am going to force myself to be 100% prepared for tomorrow so that doesn't happen again, you kind of go, I need to step back. I need to take care of myself right now. I have multiple self-care strategies and routines in place. My ride to work in the morning and my ride home, I've been lapsing, but I try to find at least 5 things I'm grateful for each way. I keep a gratitude journal at home. I see a therapist. There's other things I do as well, but I think self-care far too often is seen as this sort of, it's just a thing that is a byproduct, right? I do my job, and as a byproduct, I get stressed, so I better take care of myself, Rather than part of the job, which I think with a role like this, it really should be. It's hard, and we so rarely acknowledge that. We so rarely say to ourselves, this job is difficult, so I need to take care of myself. And I think the people that end up paying the price for that, unfortunately, is our students. Because, we show up every day and we're burnt out and we're stressed and we haven't done anything to take care of it. And then the students have to deal with the teacher who's in that mental place. It's not fair to them, and it's not fair to us. Nobody wins in that scenario. So what I'd like to see in this school, and probably in other schools, because I'm guessing a lot of schools have this problem, is recognition that we are worthy of care and integration into the school culture. Maybe not the school protocol. Probably, but maybe not. Maybe we don't have to go that far. But, when I say school protocol, I mean, maybe there doesn't have to be things in the school-wide, plan that are going to be self-care. We have been doing that more this year, which has been really good. We have been setting aside collaboration time for self-care, which is, we did it, once. But once was good, and I've been trying to find time to do it as well, but for me, it's an offline thing. It's not part of the school culture. So that's it is part of the school culture. There is this this is something that Mr. Evans does. He does these mindful sits. But it's not part of the school protocol. There's nobody that's forcing me to do it. I choose to do it because I think it's something we need. But I think we need to go even further than this. I think we need to talk about our mental state. We need to be willing to say to our colleagues in an open forum somewhere, I am stressed right now and I need your support. I think we need to maybe even go as far as to have a culture of matching each other up, like having pairs of okay, you're the person I'm going to talk to every day, just to let you know how I'm doing. I would love that. I think a lot of people would love that. But I think it has to start with first acknowledging the importance of self-care. And I have lapsed on that, so I'm going to work on it. But even kind of making a list for myself of these are the things I do to take care of myself, it feels good. It feels like I'm going into this battle against stress, and I'm armed with all the proper tools. Well, maybe not all the proper tools, but many of the proper tools. You can never be fully ready for it because you never really know what's going to happen. But support from others, routines. I haven't seen my chiropractor in a while, and I really want to because it starts to show up in my body. I get stressed and I sleep wrong, or I tense my muscles too much. So I'd really like to get back to doing that a little bit more regularly. I'm going to share my 3 positive moments that happened today, and then I'm going to end this vlog because I think that's about what I wanted to say about self-care. First of all, I got a new student today, and that student slotted in very easily into a spot because a student had just left. I was a little worried when I found out a new student, and then it turned out, hey, the student was just exited from the class. This student, that's the perfect seating area for him, and he had a wonderful first day. So I'm really glad about that. I think he took to everything very quickly. I've got a lot of routines in here. Hard to pick them all up, but he didn't really seem to struggle, so I'm really glad about that. Another student that made me smile today was a student actually expressed some sympathy towards me. This student knew about a situation that I've been dealing with, and she actually took the time to say, I'm really sorry you have to deal with that. I hope that gets better for you, Mr. Evans. And so, and it wasn't even one of my students. It was just a random student that had heard about what I was going through. So that was really big. And the third moment that really made me smile today was kind of a personal thing. I kind of have to withhold a little bit of information here, but Anime Club. We're having our next meeting on Monday. Very excited about that, but I'm already starting to think. Today, for a long time now, I've been like, okay, the last meeting, I really want to make it special. But, so often I think I in the past have been like, okay, I want to make it special, but then I just never bring my ideas to life. And today I made a couple of moves to make that last day special, and that's the part I can't disclose, but it's kind of cool. It builds the anticipation, and it gives me something to look forward to. So those are my moments that made me smile, which is a part of my own self-care. So thank you so much for being along for the ride. Thank you for taking the time to watch this video. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye-bye, YouTube.